Hey guys, it's Landon with RH. I'm recording this video for my friend Shane and his coworker Tracy. They've got some RINEX data. They don't have RINEX data. They have some static GNSS data that they collected with some Trimble GPS receivers. And what they need is they need to submit that to OPUS, and they need to get a coordinate back from OPUS, and their client wants the actual OPUS report. It's a little bit tricky because OPUS will not take the raw files that come out of Trimble, and you got to go in and split the Trimble file. You got to convert the Trimble files to RINEX and then split them up. This would be a lot easier if I could just import my static data from the Trimble receivers into a Trimble Business Center project and process decors and give the client a coordinate that way. It's essentially the same thing, but the client wants the actual report from OPUS. It's a slightly unsophisticated client, and they want the actual email from OPUS, the OPUS processing software. So I told Shane I would record a video for Tracy so she could see how to do this. So what you see on the screen here is a little utility you can get from Trimble. It's free. It's called Convert to RINEX. And then I've got the folder here with the data. So I'm going to go over here to File, and we're going to go ahead and open the TO1 file is what's coming off the Trimble receivers. I'm sorry, it's a T04. So we're going to go ahead and open that. And you can see here it says that it's scanning the file. Let's see, I don't know if we can just convert. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, so once it comes up, you can convert it. So we'll go File, Convert. So it's going to convert the files. It just puts them in the same folder. This has got a lot of data, so it's going to take a minute. This is eight hours of data, I think. Okay, so we're done now with the file conversion, so that's pretty easy. So if we go into the folder now, you can see we have the TO4 file, and then it just created these files. These are the RINEX files. These are the field notes they gave me. And there's like a navigation file, and there's some other files. The file we want to manipulate here is called the O file, or the observation file. It's just a text file. That's what a RINEX file is. So I'm going to right click on that, and I'm going to edit in my text editor. So you can just open this in Notepad if you want. Alright, so here it is. Here's the file. Now what we want to know is, do we have more than one observation in here? And I suspect that we do. And the way you can do that is you just search for marker. So every time there's a new point in the RINEX file, it'll have marker in it. So there's the first instance, second. Okay, so here's marker, the marker for 950. So this is the start of 950. Okay, so it looks to me like this file only has 950 in it. Okay, so that's good. That means we don't have to split it. If we had to, if there was another marker in here, if they had stored another point in here, we would need to split the file. I'm glad that I don't have to do that. Essentially what you do is you delete. So let's just say that there was another observation before this. What we would do is we would just come in and delete everything before this row here, before this marker name row. We would delete all the way up to the file header, which starts right here. Let's see, the file header right here. So where it says start at kinematic data, we can actually do this. We can delete this kinematic data. That just means the receiver's moving. So we can actually just delete that. Whenever you're making changes like that, let me undo that. RINEX files are very, very picky. So whenever you're making changes like that, save a copy of your file. So let me try this again. Okay, so let's save a copy of this, and then we're going to upload to OPUS and see if it works. If it doesn't work, it'll give us a warning. So I'm going to just put my initials V2 on the end of this. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to OPUS, and I'll show you how to upload this to OPUS. And we've got to look at our field notes, guys, and get our HIs properly. So we'll just search for NGS OPUS. So here it is. Okay, so we're going to pick our RINEX file here. And we got to pick our antenna model. That's important. If you don't have the right antenna model, your elevation isn't going to be correct. And so I know those guys are using a trim, the TRM something, TRM, is it R? TRM. Okay, we want TRM R10 to none. Yours will be different, so you got to know that. You got to Google your receiver make and model and figure out the right antenna model to pick. Okay, now NGS, because it's made by academics, they use meters, which is horrible, but surveyors, you got to deal with meters here for OPUS. So we're going to open up our field notes, and I don't know why, but they had some odd rod heights. It's like they weren't using fixed height poles or something. So so right here, they tell me that they were 6.43 feet to the lever of the R10 extension. So the R10 extension is a half a foot, so we've got 6.93 feet, so we need to convert that to meters. And I told them double check these elevations just in case I goof something up. So it's 2.112 meters. So we'll go back to our OPUS screen. 2.112, and I'm going to put in my email address. Okay, now if it's less than 2 hours, you upload to rapid static. If it's more than 2 hours, you upload to static. So we'll say, oh, it says my file name contains invalid characters. It must not like the dashes. So let's get rid of those. It doesn't like those. So we'll just get rid of the dashes. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, it looks like it's going to work here. So it'll give us a little screen that says we've successfully submitted, and then what I'm going to do is just pause the video. We'll see what results I get back from OPUS. If I have a typo or a problem in the RINEX file, we're going to get an email back with an error message. So all right, so it's telling me that the data file is too large. Okay, and I'm not sure why it's telling me that. Let's go see how big our file is. Yeah, that's a big file. I'm not sure why I'm getting that message. Let me pause the video and see if I can figure out a fix to this. Alright guys, so I've got the solution. So the problem is our RINEX file is too big. So I did a little poking around online, and what I found out was if you're collecting multiple constellations at a 1 second rate for 4 hours, your RINEX file is going to be too big to OPUS. And I didn't know this, I learned this today, but OPUS only processes data on a 30-second interval. So what we want to do is decimate our RINEX file down to a 30-second interval, and you can actually do that with Imlid Studio, which is cool. Now, I've never done that, but we're going to try it here. So I've got Imlid Studio open. We're going to go down to Convert to RINEX. I'm going to pick the RINEX file that we created, and I'm going to come in here and say on interval, I'm going to say 30 seconds because that's what OPUS uses. And OPUS, the regular version of OPUS doesn't use these other constellations, so I can get rid of those. Now they do have a beta version, but we're not using the beta version. And I'm going to save this file. It should be way smaller. So we'll convert that. Okay, so it's done. Let's see the results. Okay, so here's this new file it created for us. So let's try that in OPUS and see what we get. So I don't know if this is going to work. We're living dangerously, but that's okay sometimes in life. You got, oh, this is the thread that taught me about that. I'll try and remember to put that link in the video, in the comments for this, the description for this video on YouTube. Okay, so let's try this again here. We're going to pick that new decimated file, which is like way smaller. And It looks like our HI is good. I'm going to say upload. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so I got the upload is done. I'm going to pause the video and I'll let you guys know when we get the results. Okay guys, so let me just wrap up here and show you what we got back from OPUS. So this is the report. Oh, I apologize. Let me get the right email open here. So this is the what they call the OPUS solution report, and you can see right down here. It gives us our latitude, longitude, ellipsoid height. Be careful, that's in meters, and it also gives us the orthometric height. Be careful, that's in meters, and then it gives you state plane coordinates. I believe it gives you in. Looks like those are meters also. This is U-Team Zone 10 and Zone 3. Yeah, so it doesn't give us feet, but it does give you that. It does give you your state plane coordinate in meters. So this is what I'll send over to Tracy and Shane. So now you guys know how you can take a Trimble T04 file out of a Trimble receiver, convert it to RINEX, figure out if you have multiple markers or observations in a file, split those, decimate them in input flow, upload them to OPUS, pick the right antenna model, enter the right height of instrument or rod height, and get back to your OPUS solution. So I hope that helps you guys. Thanks.